Battlestar Galactica's last episode aired on March of 2009, thus ending its 4-season run as one of the greatest science fiction shows ever to air on television. Now, whatever happened to the props, costumes, and set pieces? Find out next on Hollywood Forgotten. This is the only Cylon Raider that's ever been built for the show Battlestar Galactica. The rest were CGI. Now you would think this one-of-a-kind prop would be put into a Hollywood museum? Well, guess again. This is just one of 2,000 props being auctioned off.
Y'all through. Sold. Auction Network's way. Sold your way, sir. $500.
It's sold for $23,000.
Let me introduce to you the man responsible for this auction, Propworx CEO, Alec Peters.
Hello.
Okay, now, first things first. Can I wear a costume?
Yes.
Yes! This is not what I had in mind. Now, it's safe to say then that you're a huge Battlestar Galactica fan?
I am a huge fan since the original series. And I was a big fan back in '78 when the first series was on. And then I got to be good friends with Richard Hatch, the actor who played the original Apollo, and is Tom Zarek in the new Galactica. So when Galactica was winding down, when the final season was on the air, I called him and said, hey, Richard, can you find out who's in charge of disposing of all the assets? Because I think we should do what Star Trek did. And he put me in touch with Ron French, the line producer, who put me in touch with Kurt Ford at Universal Studios, and the rest is history.
But how did you convince Universal, because you have no live auction experience at all,
Right.
How did you convince them to let you do this?
Well, I built a company that was a big eBay partner, so I had a lot of online auction experience. I knew the online auction world very well. I'm obviously a big collector, so I've gone to live auctions. And there's no real magic. I mean, it's to putting on a live auction. It takes a lot of hard work. I think that the thing with Universal was they bought into my vision of what I wanted the Battlestar Galactica auctions to be. It wasn't about selling assets. It was about honoring the show, honoring the crew who created the show, how we would create 2 big live auctions and do a series of eBay internet auctions. It was what the certificates of authenticity should be and how they should secure the item.
Now, describe to us and the fans out there watching this the difference between screen-used props or standby props. I'm not quite sure of the terminology.
Yeah. And that's a big, that's something that's very confusing to people. That's a big problem often. They don't understand the terminology. And we have a section of our site that is just terminology. So you can go and click on that link and see exactly what is the different terms that we use in selling our props. And it's pretty standard. And the thing that you really need to understand is that everything, props, the costumes, the set pieces, that's what's called production made. It was made for the production. Now that doesn't mean it necessarily got on screen. If it did, it was screen used. Now the way you know it's screen used is either tagged that way, or the other is to screen match it, to literally take the item, watch the DVD, and Blu-ray is great for this, look at the distinguishing marks on your costume, your prop. The one that's on the screen right there is the one I have here, because look at all these markings. And I've done that, and a lot of props and costumes collectors do that. So screen used is a higher form of prop collecting, and a lot of people don't care. I mean, I have a lot of props, I don't care if it's screen used or not. It's one of the 3 they made for the production. Why would I care whether it was on screen or not? But some people are very picky about that. So it really depends on the preferences of the collector. But terminology, production made, screen use, and then there's hero prop or a backup. So hero prop is a prop that has better detail. It might light up, it has functionality, it might have sound.
Like for close-ups?
Exactly, for close-ups, for insert shots. A lot of people want the hero prop because they're really cool.
I know I do.
Yeah, and now the backups or stunt props.
Stunt props are normally made out of different material, aren't they?
Yes, exactly. So typically a stunt prop will be rubber, because it's meant to be used in a stunt. It's meant to be thrown across the room, or I hit you over the head with a gun or whatever.
Now, there's different types of collectors, correct?
Oh, absolutely. There's as many different types of collectors as there are people who are collecting. I happen to love costumes. I know one of my very good friends, he's not into costumes at all. He wants props.
I know for the Battlestar Galactica auction, I'm very into anything that shows signage of Galactica. Anything that has a panel with physically seeing the Galactica on it, I instantly gravitate to.
Because it's really attached to the show. Anyone can look at it and say, oh, that must be a panel from Galactica. I was talking to a friend who's here buying something for his buddy who wants a book from Galactica with the cut corners. He's a book collector. So in a prop and costume auction, he wants books. You know, here we have dinnerware from the Battlestar Pegasus.
You know, I was looking at that last night. I was like, wouldn't it be cool to have a bunch of friends over and just throw a dinner with that tableware?
Yeah, and dine on what Admiral Kane's officers dined on. Absolutely. I might be out on that.
Don't. I want to bid on
There's two of them.
that. All right. Well, I want both. How about instead of 12? One of the things, though, that's come up lately is a lot of auctions are selling off a lot of old memorabilia from going back to the silent era. And there's been a little bit of question on whether or not these are authentic props. What are you guys doing to authenticate the Battlestar Galactica props?
Well, we have, first of all, everything comes directly from the production. So you know when you get something from us, it's authentic. We have a certificate of authenticity that is tied to the item through a hologram system. So there's a serial numbered hologram on the certificate of authenticity, and then a matching hologram that is placed on the prop. It's an added level of security. You know that this is the prop that came from Universal Studios that was used in this production.
How many props are in this collection right now?
Well, we have auction number 2 is 960 items. 500 of them are props, 260 are costumes, and then the rest is set deck and set decoration.
Are there any funny stories in getting these physically from Canada?
Well, it took 5 tractor trailers to bring all the stuff down, plus 3 more to bring the ships down. So it's a lot of stuff. I think the thing that was cool was we got to go to the studio for 3 months. So I remember the first time I walked on the CIC set.
Which is right here.
Yeah, which is here.
Let's go take a look at it.
The CIC is the command center, and these are some of the pieces from it. We sold some of them in the first auction. This is the big tactical screen back here, one of the FTL consoles. So this was all set up on a huge soundstage in Canada. And the first time I walked in on it, I was like, oh, wow, this is the CIC. Isn't that cool? But it wasn't lit up or anything. It was kind of dark, and we got to see everything.
It was a pretty big set, right?
It's a very big set. And a couple weeks later, they were lighting it for digital photography. They were doing archiving. And I walked into the set, and it was all lit up, and all the computer screens were on, and it was like you were there, and it was like Hollywood magic. It was a totally different experience.
And it wasn't like watching them filming a scene. It was completely empty with this you guys there fully lit up.
Yeah, exactly. We could have been officers on the deck of the Galactica. It was so cool. And of course, we took our pictures with everything. Then, you know, a month and a half after that, they were finished with the set, and they called us up and said, okay, we're done, it's yours. And we went in, and we're ripping panels out, and we were, I'm there with a big piece of chalk circling, I want this, and cut this panel here, and...
Wait, cut?
Yeah, because the set everything was built in, so you literally had to cut things out of the...
You had to cut this out, or what? Yeah, anything here that you had to cut out?
Yeah, if we look at this, this is Hoshi's FTL console, which was attached to Hoshi's station here. Now you can tell we actually cut this right here. This piece actually lifts up. Oop, this whole piece here lifts up. Oh, it's attached.
Kind of. Don't break it.
This was attached. What they did was they cut here and then they finished it off so it could be a standalone piece. And originally it was built into the set. So we had to do that. So now we could sell the station, we could sell the FTL console, and it was very cool that way. Half of it was kind of sad because this is a set that everyone knows and loves, and we were kind of destroying it, but we were also preserving it.
All right, I'm dying to know, out of this auction, what is your favorite piece?
I love one of the Cara Thrace paintings. I was hoping I'd be able to steal it, but ever since Erin, one of my assistants, put it on our blog, and now it's up on the stage. I feel I'm going to pay a pretty penny for that. I love that painting. I really want that. There's a couple costumes that I'm after, being a big costume collector.
I'm looking over this. Take a look at this here. Come on out of here. I'm looking over this. This, to me, feels like your collection and display. Is this like for just a little moment how you would love to display, like if you could own every prop of Battlestar Galactica,
yeah.
Would this be how you would present it to the fans of the show?
Well, yes, and you know what's great about this is like the Sci-Fi Museum up in Seattle. I think Paul Allen is the ultimate collector. I mean, he's one of the richest men in the world, and he can have whatever he wants, and he's bought a lot of great science fiction props over the years. He's a big sci-fi fan.
Is he getting anything from this show?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, so he might be, huh? Or has he already?
I can't tell you that.
To be continued,
I
folks.
think what you need to do is go to the Sci-Fi Museum and see what Battlestar Galactica.
Did you hear that? Plug for the Sci-Fi Museum. I'm definitely there. For some reason, I've never heard of it.
Oh my gosh, it's awesome.
3,000 with Auction Network.
I can hear a lot of excitement going on at the auction right now as we speak. I just want to say that for the fans and collectors, this has been an amazing exhibit and auction. I feel like you get like a little museum tour and then you get to purchase what you see. Has this been exactly what you envisioned?
I think so. I think when we set out 10 months ago almost to do Battlestar Galactica, I had a vision of what I wanted this to look like, and I think Star Trek did it well with the Christie's auction. I wanted something like that, and so when the first auction happened, I know a couple of people from Universal were like, "Oh my God, this is amazing! We can't believe you did that!" And I was like, "Told you so. This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted Battlestar Galactica auction to be like." And Universal's done a great job. I mean, you can just see this here.
It's amazing.
We're standing in the hangar bay basically, and Universal built these big braces on the side, which are exactly what you saw in the hangar bay. And they built them just for this auction. So they shared in my vision, and now we have this awesome event. There's a guy who emailed me who's driving 2,000 miles across country. He's unemployed right now. He's a huge Battlestar fan. He said, "Oh, I got the time and I barely have enough money. I'm coming out."
I have to say, you have done a great job displaying these items for fans. I want to thank you for your time. I'm going to let you get back to the auction and watch these beautiful items basically disappear into history. Hopefully all of us fans who purchase them will take care of them. It would be nice, though, at some point they end up back in a collection, hint, hint, and maybe in Seattle. So we'll find out. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And thank you again, as being a fan. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you know of any props or costumes or even a filming location that's been used in a movie and been forgotten, email me at info@hollywoodforgotten.com. You know what? I think I'm going to sneak out of here with this costume. Nobody's looking. So, see ya.